It's time for Recipe of the Day. People always say that homemade mac and cheese is easy to make, but then why are the packaged varieties so popular? If it's that easy to make homemade mac, why would you buy the box? I asked around some fellow moms and some teenagers and pretty much got the same answers from everybody. The box version uses very few ingredients, it cooks in one pot, and it skips that whole roux thing, you know? So I wanted to make a macaroni and cheese recipe that hit all of those criteria, and I did it. So, I already have the very popular, very viral on social media, 3-ingredient evaporated milk macaroni and cheese recipe. That one's delicious. It uses, pantry evaporated milk. The issue with that one is that you do have to stir it like the whole time. The whole time the macaroni is cooking, you have to stir quite often. So that doesn't really fit my criteria for super easy. Then I have this other mac and cheese recipe that people love, like seriously love. It's a cream cheese version, really creamy, rich, and delicious, but that ingredient list is a lot longer. So this one that I'm telling you about today, it hits that complete sweet spot. It tastes like the classic. It tastes exactly like mac and cheese is supposed to taste. It uses one pot, very few ingredients, and you don't have to make a roux. There's no separate sauce being made anywhere at all, actually. Really, really simple. And you don't have to stand there and stir the whole time, just towards the end. So the key to this recipe is instead of making that cheese sauce that has a roux base, while the macaroni is cooking in its pot of water, just according to the normal package instructions, you get the water boiling, you add salt to it, you add the macaroni. While that's happening, you get out a jar or a container with a tight-fitting lid, and you're adding milk and flour to that and shaking it really well. That is what's called a slurry, S-L-U-R-R-Y, but you do not need to know what it's called to be able to use it. And that is going to replace the making of the cheese sauce with the roux, and I'm going to tell you exactly how it works now, and I'll run through all of the ingredient amounts and everything too as I go. So for this recipe, you are using 8 ounces of macaroni noodles. That's going to be about 1 3/4 cup. So you're just going to follow the package directions using about half of the box. A 16-ounce box is pretty standard. And yes, you can double this recipe. It works just fine. I just find that I'm usually making a smaller amount. I'm usually doing the half a box. Okay, so you are going to cook that macaroni according to package directions. While it is cooking, you're going to get out that container or that lid, and into it you are measuring 2 cups of milk and 1/4 cup of flour. Now, what kind of milk? I know that a lot of milk sauces can curdle when you're heating them, and so I wanted to test this with both the usual whole milk that's often used in mac and cheese and also with fat-free milk, which is what I always have on hand. Why buy a special milk, right? I have good news for you. The fat-free milk worked just fine, but you just need to make sure that you're stirring it when I tell you to stir it, which is going to be happening in a moment, and that you take it off the heat when I tell you to take it off the heat. I'm going to tell you when. But yeah, basically the fat-free milk is more likely to curdle once it's boiling, so we're trying to limit that from happening, and I tested it 3 times with the fat-free milk. It worked perfectly, so you are fine if that's what you have. Okay, so you're mixing together the 2 cups of milk with 1/4 cup of flour. Shake, shake, shake really, really well until it's really well mixed. Then, once your macaroni is finished cooking to the texture that you like, drain that, and then put the macaroni back into the pot it was cooking in. That pot is hot. That's going to help us here. The macaroni's hot. That's helping us here. You're going to give your milk mixture one more good shake, and then pour it into the pot with the drained macaroni and stir that. Set the pot over medium heat, and you're going to cook stirring continuously. Keep stirring until the sauce thickens and comes to a simmer. It's not going to take that long. Just keep stirring while it's happening, and then immediately take it off the heat. As soon as that sauce is thick and you see those little bubbles forming, you take it off of the heat. Then you are stirring in 2 tablespoons of butter cut into 8 pieces. You want them in small pieces so that they melt more quickly. And you're adding 2 cups of shredded sharp cheddar cheese. You can use any kind of cheese that shreds and melts well. Mozzarella, Gruyere, pepper jack, all those are going to work just fine. I like that sharp cheddar flavor. So you're stirring in the butter and and the cheese. Stir, stir, stir until it's melted in. It's basically melting into that creamy sauce that we made with the milk and the flour. And then give it a taste. Add salt and pepper if you'd like. And if you like to add other things to your macaroni and cheese, some people add garlic powder, mustard powder, a bit of cayenne. You can add that now, but it's ready. One pot. No weird roux or crazy cheese sauce. Very simple list of ingredients that you probably have on hand most of the time. And it tastes better than the stuff that comes from a box. I promise. I will put the link to this recipe in the show notes for this podcast episode, or you can head to cookthestory.com/ROTD and get it there. Everything there is arranged by date, so it's helpful to know that today is January 29th of 2026. And don't forget, I am going live on YouTube with Marty. We are doing a long cooking demo focusing on cooking for small households. Find the link to my YouTube channel in the show notes for this podcast episode, or look for Cook the Story 1059 on YouTube, and you will find us there 2 p.m. on Saturday. I am Christine Pittman from cookthestory.com, thecookful.com, the all-new chicken cookbook, cookfor2.us, and this podcast recipe of the day. I hope you have a great day. Let's get cooking.